What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Andrew Jack. So there isn't even a single bodybuilding expert out there who doesn't believe that Andrew Jack can fight for the Olympia title this year. Almost everyone agrees that if Andrew is on, if he brings his A game, and if he is even a tiny bit better than what we saw at this year's Texas Pro, especially in terms of conditioning, then he's gonna scare the hell out of everyone. I believe the moment he walks out on that Olympia stage this year and hits that front relax pose, he is gonna make a lot of people doubt their predictions. Because the thing is, Andrew just took that pose to a whole different level this year. But that being said, there is still that Olympia curse with Andrew Jack. I mean, he looks at his all-time best in the Olympia qualifiers, and then he shows up looking so much worse for the Olympia. So he has done 2 Olympias so far, and he was so far off, especially in comparison to Texas Pro or even Arnold Classic. So hopefully Andrew will be able to break that curse in 18 days time at this year's Miss Olympia stage, and hopefully he will show up at his all-time best and give all the top guys a serious run for their money. And what's up with all those comments regarding his arms, that they're looking sus or that they have oil in them? I mean, the man always had that unique roundness even when he wasn't a pro. So Andrew Jack wins that front double biceps and the front lat spread and arguably the abs and thigh as well. And I am talking about against those top 6 guys. So those first 2 shots, they can really put him ahead of everyone. And the judges can certainly move him towards the center, because we all know he wins that symmetry round as well. So putting this comparison from Texas Pro 2023 versus the Olympia 2023 to explain that the curse is so real. But it seems suggests that because Andrew was competing non-stop since 2022, his body would be just burnt out by the end of the year. But this time he is very fresh and is also looking extremely dangerous. We rarely see 2 of the top Olympians have a pose down so close to the show, but Ramon and Mike Sommerfeld, they lit up the atmosphere in the Dragon's Lair today. So Ramon, as we all know, he has been placing second in the world for the last 2 years in a row, behind the reigning champion Chris Bumstead. And Mike Sommerfeld has placed as high as 5th in the classic physique Miss Olympia, but last year he dropped down to 8th. But all the updates that we have seen from Mike throughout this year, the ones from the off-season and the ones from the prep, they have been some of the most impressive ones, especially in terms of the transformation that he has been able to make in just 1 year. So Mike also got some valuable pointers from Dennis Wolf as well. So how did they match up during the pose down? Well, Mike's side chest is just so damn incredible. Enormous size, crazy amount of width. Well, we really got to see the difference in the quality of muscle and the difference in the kind of density both these guys have, especially when Ramon hit that most muscular shot. I mean, so much density, so much detail right there. Plus, it seems like Ramon's abs, they are carved out of stones. He has the best set of abs in that Olympia top 5. So what really changed for Ramon this time? Because normally he would just stay covered up throughout the prep and just let his physique do all the talking on the stage. But in these last few weeks, during this year's Olympia prep, we have seen one update after another from Ramon. Maybe that is because he's training with Flex Lewis, or maybe he's trying to send a clear message to the reigning champion Chris Bumstead that he is coming for the crown. Or maybe just because Wesley Weezers, he posts an update almost every single day. And Wesley versus Ramon, that is expected to be a great battle at the Olympia this year. Maybe that is why Ramon changed his strategy. But all that being said, he does look pretty damn impressive here, and C-Bum must bring his A game. Next up is the physique update from John De Rosa. So his coach Patrick Tour had him on very low carbs for 4 weeks straight when he was in prep for Tampa Pro earlier this year. So that crispy kind of conditioning, that did not come easily. And we have to keep in mind, the reigning Miss Olympia Derek Linsford, he himself was there in attendance at this year's Tampa Pro. And his opinion was that if Mohammad Nsour was in the same condition as John De Rosa, he would have won that show, and he would have denied John De Rosa his Olympia qualification. And that just goes to show us how ripped and peeled John was. So John himself also knows that he isn't gonna be the biggest guy on that stage. He lacks the width, especially in those front 2 mandatories. So he needs to be absolutely spot on in terms of everything, especially the conditioning. And just by looking at this update, I have to say the man is right on target. So there are a few physiques in this year's Olympia lineup, and John is one of them, whose chances of placing top 10, they are heavily dependent on how the other guys, especially the younger, more static guys, how they will show up, especially in terms of conditioning. Now you can be a big fan of John, but the thing is there is just no way he can beat a 100% on Rafael Brandel or Martin Fitzpatrick. But if anyone is even a tiny bit off, and John shows up in that same condition as he did at this year's Arnold Ohio or Tampa Pro, he is just gonna sneak past them. So those prep pictures of Justin Shire, they make his comeback for 2025 worth waiting for. A guy who was able to win his pro debut. That's a special talent, because not a lot of people can do that. And after his Olympia debut last year, he made a very tough call to sit out of the contest season for this entire year and focus on getting bigger, putting on more mass, and bringing up his lagging body parts, specifically his back. But his overall physique was so damn impressive, even at his pro debut at Chicago Pro last year, especially from the front. Because even though he lost both of the back shots to John De Rosa and Stanimal as well, still he was able to win that show. And this might come as a big surprise to some of you guys, that a guy of his height, he was just weighing 218 pounds. So there is still a lot of room to get bigger. So Justin has got an ideal structure. Specifically his front shots, they are just so amazing. He has one of the craziest looking arms in the men's open bodybuilding, a very tiny waist, and big bubbly quads. And if you take a look at his training updates, he is one of the smartest lifters in the pro league at the moment. Now just like Nick Walker, every single movement that he does in the gym, that is so precise. And a lot of his focus this time is on his back. So hopefully he will show up with a lot of improvements the next time he steps on stage. So who is gonna triumph in France Pro this weekend? So the favorite to win this show, Presti, he just posted 6 days out physique updates. And you have got to put some respect on his name, because he is one of the most consistent guys when it comes to peaking for every bodybuilding show that he enters. And once again, here he looks so peeled and absolutely ripped. So more and more people are talking about what happened at this past UK Pro, and you will hardly find a guy who had Bruno Santos winning over Presti, unless they are his fans. But it is what it is. Plus this hasn't been an ideal year for Presti. If you guys remember, he was supposed to compete earlier in the year, and that was at Emperor Classic Spain. And after that, he was planning to do Portugal Pro as well. But he got sick just 2 weeks prior to that show, and he just dropped out of the whole race. And he also lost a lot of weight and a lot of muscle during that phase. And actually most of us thought that he was done for the year, up until this year's Italy Pro competitors list came out, and his name was on that list. And the man did not disappoint us at all in both the shows that he did this month. And Presti is kinda unlucky in a sense that at the beginning of his pro career, he injured his quads, and that is why he has been playing catch up. And he could have won a lot more shows if only his quads were bigger. Now they have certainly improved, especially in the last 2 years. But the discrepancy is still there. So do keep an eye out for Mohammad Nsour as well, who is also doing France Pro. And he also posted a sneak peek. And the man is looking so deadly. So Mohammad is gonna have a hard time here, especially against a guy like Presti. And if both these guys are on, structurally speaking, Presti is so much bigger and so much wider than him. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.